And probably the most important good news is that Anthropic has been given the green signal by the State Department to release Fable 5 or Mythos 5 or Claude 5 or whatever you want to call it. So over here on their tweet, they've said we've received notice that the Department of Commerce has lifted export controls on Claude 5 and Mythos 5. We'll begin restoring access across we'll begin restoring access tomorrow and we'll share an update soon. We're grateful to our users for this patience and to everyone who worked with us on deploying the models. Now, the important thing to keep in mind over here is that this is access for everyone, not just for US nationals. So, like in the past, the US government was like, you only want this to be for certain people in the US. So if they're not U.S. citizens, they shouldn't have access to this. But this appears to open access to everyone. So everyone will have access to these models, which is always a good thing. It's good to have access to everything you can afford. And for now, it appears that is the case. So again, over here, there's another tweet. It says, Claude Fable 5 will be available again tomorrow. After a series of productive conversations with the U.S. government, we're redeploying the model with a new set of classifiers to target and block more cybersecurity tasks. And this is probably the key word over here, which is redeploying the model with a set of classifiers. So these are going to be brand new or tweaked classifiers that will prevent people from using this as a cyber weapon or to create cyber weapons. In the near term, some routine tasks like coding and debugging will fall behind Opus 4.8. We'll continue to refine these classifiers over the coming weeks to reduce false positives and better distinguish genuine misuses from legitimate requests. Now, the problem I have over here is that they're saying that we're going to release a model with the classifiers, with the newly tweaked or these brand new classifiers, and we do acknowledge that there are going to be issues, so it's going to fall behind Opus 4.8 in certain tasks. There are going to be false positives, but they're going to charge you today for it. Like, you're going to pay today's prices for Fable and Mythos, but you're going to get tomorrow's performance, in other words. So you pay for today's models and you get tomorrow's performance. I don't know why they can't wait maybe 2 weeks before they release Opus 5 or Mythos. Why are they releasing it right now, as soon as they get the green signal from the State Department, when they know that this is not a very good performing model the way it is? It has been, it has been neutered in so many ways that it's probably not going to perform as well or as people expect, but they're putting it out there. So, and then they said we've also begun drafting a consensus framework with Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and other glass-wing partners for assessing the severity of AI jailbreaks and how AI developers should respond to them. We invite our other industry partners and model providers to join us in this effort. Finally, we're scaling up our collaboration with the US government on model testing and safeguarding. This will include pre-release access to models and safeguards for evaluation, information sharing on jailbreaks and misuse, and dedicated resources to joint research. This is another important point over here. So before the masses ever get access to any of these models or the cutting edge models, it will be the US government and a handful of corporations, by the looks of it, that will get to use the model, abuse the model, get the most advantage out of it before it goes to everyone else. And so by the time you get the model, it will be a neutered model. It will be a model that does not do a lot of the stuff it should do, because those are reserved for Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Glasswing, and all of those other partners that are part of this consortium, and they get access to those models, and you just get access to the neutered model. While at the same time, you pay more money for it, but you don't get what they're getting. So in other words, they're kind of covering their tracks. They want this is under the guise of jailbreaks, when in fact, any developer, any guy who's worked in and computers for a long enough time will tell you there is no program on Earth that can't be jailbroken. There is no firmware on Earth that can be jailbroken. It's impossible, nearly impossible, to create anything that can't be hacked, can't be jailbroken. So this over here is just an empty statement, but it alludes to the fact that they're going to be taking everything first to the U.S. to the U.S. government. They're going to get approval from there before they put out the model. So we're going to probably see a lot of there's going to be a lot of time in between every model being released, and you might not even get the model that you hoped that you would get. So it says thank you to our users for your patience and to our partners across the government, industry, and research community who work alongside us to make Fable 5 available again. And it says read our full blog. So Fable 5, if we could see this as soon as tomorrow morning or maybe even this evening. But at the end of the day, if it's going to be kneecapped by what they're saying and it's not going to perform as well in certain tasks as Opus 4.8, which they don't tell us what task is going to be, then this release is something I'm not very excited about. Let me know in the comments below whether this release excites you, just in the way that this has been announced, and also because the fact that they're just saying so many words, but they mean just the meaning here is that you're gonna pay for what you think is a better model because you probably will end up with a worse model. So why would I not just use Opus 4.8 and just call it a day, right? So why would I even pay more for Mythos, or why would I even pay more for Fable? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this release of Fable 5 or Mythos 5, and I will see you in the next video.